What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, it's going to be a long road for the Clippers, a long, tough road for the Clippers. You know, the fact that they're going into the play-in tournament, hoping that they can get Kawhi Leonard back, hoping that, Paul George can stay healthy now that he's basically back. Hopefully they can get Norman Powell back as well. It's going to be a long, tough road for the Clippers because to go from the play-in tournament as like the 8th seed, get out of that, basically play two teams in the play-in tournament, make it out of that, go into the first round, the official first round of the playoffs, take on one of the top seeds, and then try to get out that 7-game series and move on to maybe the conference finals. It's going to be tough for the Clippers. Very tough, because it's a very tough position coming from the play-in, going all the way to the championship, if that's what the Clippers can do. Hopefully they get Kawhi Leonard back and everybody's healthy where they be able to do so. It's just going to be really tough. It's almost going to be like in football, in the NFL, where a team, comes from the wild card. A wild card team basically gets in, how it used to be. A wild card team gets in and go all the way to the Super Bowl is a very, very tough way of getting to a championship. But it's very, very, it's very, very rewarding if you do. So, I look at the Clippers situation the same as that, because basically the Clippers are coming in as a wild card team, very undermanned, not 100% fully healthy. And if they're able to go from the play-in tournament all the way to the championship, barring the fact that they're fully healthy with everybody, that would be one of the most impressive, probably the most impressive championship we've ever seen. Because first of all, the play-in tournament wasn't created years ago, so we never had to see a team come from that far to win it. And back in the day, the most that we were able to see is an 8-seeded team, go all the way to a championship, if that ever happened. And I don't think it did, not as far as I know. So now to see a team possibly come from the play-in tournament to make a championship, that would be great to see. But I know the Clippers would have to be 100% healthy for that to happen. And it definitely could happen if they can get Kawhi Leonard back. I definitely think, him and PG can do a lot of good things along with Norman Powell. I think, he's that X factor that they're going to need going forward. I think he's a big part of the puzzle too, So, it would be great to see if the Clippers can actually pull off something like that. Because like I said, to me, that would have to be the most impressive championship run ever, to come from a play-in tournament, win 2 games there, go into the first round of the playoffs, win a game there, go into another round, and try to win there, and then make it to NBA Finals and possibly, win that. That would be like the ultimate, getting it out the trenches, getting it out of the mud, long, hard road, tough road of winning a championship. And then you want to talk about building characteristics, building good character around the whole vibe of the team. That would make them undoubtedly, looked at as the best team in the NBA if they're able to do something like that, because it's just so hard. I can only imagine it's so hard to beat the 2 teams in the play-in tournament just to get a spot in the playoffs. Then you got to go through at least 2 teams there on your conference, and then try to make it to a finals and win it all. It's just a whole lot that the Clippers would have to do to win the championship this year if they got 100% healthy with everybody. But I definitely think they're up for the challenge, and I definitely think they can do that. I really do, if they're 100% healthy. Hopefully everybody stays healthy and comes back. Hopefully no more injuries awry. Hopefully, they get that rhythm, because what it's going to take more than anything is building that continuity. And that continuity, only comes with availability, and everybody has to be on the court for that to happen, and everybody has to understand one another, and everybody has to play their position at the highest level as possible. And their best player in Kawhi Leonard, it's gonna have to be at his best as well, which we know he would if he's in the playoffs, because he's definitely the best playoff performer we've ever seen. And we're not really worried about him too much. I would like to see him come back a little bit early, maybe a couple games for the season was out, if he was able to. But the projection right now at this point is him making a return, possibly like after the play-in tournament, barring the fact that the Clippers make it past the play-in tournament, which I believe they could now, especially with Paul George. But of course, nothing's no guarantee because, like I said, one game at a time, what I'm saying, is how you got to take it. You can't look at it any other way, especially at this part of the season. Every game counts. You want to end the season on a good note, and you want to take that into the playoffs or the play-in with the confidence that you can win and everything. So, it's definitely, something that the Clippers are looking forward to. Right now, they're 3 games under 500. So I expect with Paul George coming back, maybe they can, maybe get a game or two over 500, because you always want to leave the season with a winning record. It's almost like a good fortune for every team. If you leave the season with a winning record, you got something positive to hang your head on, even if you didn't get into the playoffs. But the fact that the Clippers are going to get into the play-in, going into the play-in with a winning streak or, something like that would definitely help their confidence even more and build Paul George's confidence even more because he's been out for a while. And like I said, he has to gain his rhythm, things like that. And, he has to try to get things going for this team as quickly as possible because the turnaround is going to be very, very fast. The season's about to be over. The play-in is here. And as I said before, I believe they're going to play the Timberwolves in a play-in tournament, which will be very tough, I think, because not only the Timberwolves have gotten a whole lot better, Cat has gotten a whole lot better, Anthony Edwards is getting better, and they do got Patrick Beverley, and Patrick Beverley knows the Clippers very well. He really does. He knows everything they like to do. He knows their scheme. He knows how they play. And I can tell you, he is definitely going to want to probably guard Paul George or whoever's out there on the floor who's the main guy and, give him hell. And I think it's going to be a tough game. But there again, like I said, that's a 1-game elimination, basically. So, anything can happen. And the Clippers are going to have to be prepared for it. Just going to have to be. There's just no other way to look at it. So, it's definitely going to be tough if they could find their way out of the play-in tournament and then get Kawhi Leonard back and, possibly go and, for that run, for that championship. Because as I said, they might want to go for it now because next year is definitely no guarantee. This year ain't no guarantee, but next year is probably, even far-fetched from a guarantee because you got other teams that are ready to erupt, other teams that are ready to, blast off as well. And then on top of that, like I said, other teams will be healthy. And then, the trades in the off season, things like that can happen. People can swap, teams, stuff like that. The NBA is full of drama when it comes to trades and things like that. So you don't want to always look at it, well, we'll be better next season. Other teams will be better too. So, you don't want to have that notion. You want to be able to go out there and fend yourself and play as good as you can this year and try to win it now if you could. So, and I think that's the reason why Kawhi Leonard is going to push himself to possibly, come back this season if he's able to, because, he knows it's win it now or it's almost like now or never. I'm saying? The time is now for the Clippers. I thought the time was last year. Kawhi wouldn't have got hurt, but the time is basically now, if Kawhi can come back, because it's getting tougher. And then the younger players in the NBA are getting better, and it's hard to, just call it and say, hey, we'll be back next year. No, the younger players are getting better. Luka's getting better. Devin Booker's getting better. The Suns are getting better. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to really, speak on the year after. Try to win everything you can right now and focus on that and worry about everything else later on. So if Kawhi can come back, I definitely would try to, make that push if he could, because like I said, time is waning on their championship hopes. But I definitely think it would be very, very satisfying if they were able to get healthy and find their way out of the play-in tournament and win a championship. I definitely think that'd be the best, probably one of the best championship runs ever made. I personally think it would be the best championship run ever made by a team simply because of the adversity and all that they'll have to go through just to get to that point and then try to win it. It would be overly tough. But if any team can do it, I think it could be the Clippers if they can get healthy. I like their chances against anybody in a 7-game series if they're healthy. I honestly like their chances against, a couple teams now, even with, Paul George in the play-in tournament, maybe even the first round of playoffs. I actually think their chances are pretty decent at that. So, it's one of those things. We'll just have to see how it goes and how it pans out. But I really hope the best, for their success, because they've been through a whole lot as far as injuries, adversity, and a lot of haterism on the team, just amongst the, NBA or the analysts for the NBA and sports analysts speaking down upon them, or not even speaking about them at all. They get a lot of criticism and a lot of flack for a lot of things. So, I mean, to see them be able to possibly go from a play-in tournament to win the championship, to make it that far, if they get everybody healthy and things like that. I mean, regardless, it would be very, very impressive to see them do that. So, like I said, I'm rooting for them, see what they can do. I'm rooting to see, how far they can go. Hopefully I'm rooting for my man Kawhi to come back, because, I mean, the NBA is missing definitely one of his favorite sons, I would say, in regards to superstardom. He's definitely one of the superstars that, there's a lot of people out there don't like, but they respect him. And and other people, and the opposite, people of that actually like Kawhi. I love Kawhi Leonard. I'm one of those people. I'm a huge fan of his, always have been. The guy is amazing, and I think him and Paul George can definitely help the Clippers win a championship. They just need to be healthy enough to do so, and they need to have the opportunity to do so as well, which this is their opportunity. Hopefully health comes into their favor, and hopefully, they make a run for the championship and, shut up all their doubters and, make their fans and their supporters more happier than what they already are. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.